Hi, so I have a recording here I did a couple of months ago, and I've been messing with it, trying to clear it up. And I've used a few of Wavepad's tools to turn the silence into where you can hear people talking. So let me play just for a second. This is what it sounded like when I recorded it. Nobody around, just nice and silent. All right. So using Wavepad's, well, I did a few things to it, but let me play the results for you. Here's the file using one of the surround sound tools that Wavepad has. Have a listen to this. try listening to it. I'm going to play it at 50% speed. Have a listen. Okay, enough of that. Let me show you really quick how I did that. Here's the original recording, and one thing you want to do is you want to try to find the direct center when you start. And what I did was I actually set up on Excel the total length of the file, and you see these numbers here, they're huge, they're enormous, but where you get them at, just scroll all the way to the right and then use your mouse and scroll down on it. And these numbers here at the bottom are the actual length of the file. So what you want to do, basically I'm just taking these numbers and I'm dividing by half, and then I'll come up and move the cursor right to the exact spot where you drill down on it and put it. Alright, let me click redo once and undo, and it'll put it right there for me. So basically I'm taking this file, and then what I'm going to do, let's just copy it off to a new one. Alright, so this is identical, and what I want to do, the first thing I do is I'm going to bring up the options. Before I do every step, I come up here in this editing effects. I'll put 2 periods in there. I have keyboard shortcuts to get to the tools that I need, but putting these 2 periods in there, it seems like it doesn't take anything away from the file when you make these changes. If you don't do that, it always seems like it takes something away. It just carves a little bit out, and by the time you get to the end, there's nothing there. So what I want to do is I'm going to use keyboard shortcuts, and I'll show you really quick. The first one I'm going to bring up is the speed and pitch change, and it's this tool here. You'll see it pop up on the screen, and the first one that I'll do, I'm going to put this in here. And of course I did the wrong keyboard shortcut, so let's try that again. Here we go. So the first one I want to do is I'm going to come down here to speed pitch percentage, and I'm going to put in 132. Now I don't know that I got the right speed when I'm doing this, but I'll just do what we listen to. So I'm going to click apply, and you can see it shortened up the file. Now if I go back to the original length of the file, it's 1 minute 21 seconds, and after running that, it takes it down to 1 minute 1 second. Alright, and then I find the direct center again. I'm not going to go and look for it, it takes forever. I'll just do it from here, and what we want to do is run that same tool again, and we're going to go down and we're going to make this 400%. Alright, so we did 132%, we did another 400%. If I could get there in one step, I would, but I can't. So now we're down to 15 seconds, so it's just shortening everything up. So I'm going to click undo twice, and the reason is I'm going to look at it at the profile of the recording when it was recorded. Did I go all the way back? Yeah. Alright, so this is what it looks like when it was recorded, okay? And by changing the speed pitch profile, I'm going to click once. This is, it kind of pushes everything to the right, and then I'll do it one more time. And you can see how it pushed everything, the frequencies even further, alright? So it makes it a little more robust here. So after that second change, now what I want to do is I'm going to slow it down. And I'm going to go to, put the cursor approximately in the middle. I'm going to bring up the speed change. And I've got it down to 13% was what you were listening to on that. That's after we sped it up though. So this is going to take it out to 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes. So we started with 1 minute 21. This is going to slow it down to 2 minutes. There you go. Alright. Now what we want to do, if we could listen to it this way. And it just never seems like it has enough there. So if we boost this up a little bit, so we're going to open up the equalizer. Let's just open it up first before I do that so you can see what I've done. Basically I'm just going to lift up in 2 places here. I'm going to lift up at 550 Hertz and 250 Hertz. And for the width, I'm going with 0.064 on both of those. I'm raising it up at 550 at 11 decibels and then at 259 decibels. Now this is all going to be dependent on what the profile of your recording looks like. I get all different kinds of recordings that some are similar to this and some aren't. Some have other, you're just going to have to mess with it. Alright, but basically this is kind of like tugging the wave up back into place. I read an article a long time ago about if the sound didn't register a certain decibel level, it would just suppress it and push it down. That's why a lot of times when you look at them, they look flat. So what we're going to try and do is tug it back up into the place where I think it's supposed to go, or close to it. We'll get it close. So let me do my to period 0, bring up the equalizer, and apply it. And I'll give you a kind of a quick before and after. So if we look at it now, you can see we pulled everything up, we boosted it. The smaller that number is at the base when you do this, the wider the amount that it will pull up. So if I did 20 in there, if I entered actually 20.0, it would be a real narrow piece that it lifts up. But the smaller the number that I put in there, the wider it'll do a lot more area. All right, just so you know, mess with it. Now after I get it to this point, and if I go back and we look at it really quick, not only does it lift it up, but it pulls it up and it kind of flattens out this little curvature here. All right. So I'm going to copy this off to two more files. And what I want to do, I'm going to have these three files here. This one out here, I'm actually going to speed up. I'm going to speed the pitch up by 200%. This one over here, I'm going to slow it down by 50%. And I'm going to leave the one in the middle alone. All right. So let's just bring up the pitch change tool. Right here, I'm going to do this one at 200%. Doesn't take too awful long. Really, the longest part of this process is finding dead center. But it actually sounds the best when you get it and do it that way. All right, let's do this. Oh, and then what I'm going to do after now this is the one I sped up. I'm going to shrink it to 50%. The way to do that is bring up the amplify, and we're going to bring that down to about half. All right, now this other file, this is the one we're going to slow down. We're going to slow it down to, or not slow it down, we're going to change the pitch to 50%. And what's funny is we're going to amplify this, we're going to shrink it down to 2%. But that little 2% makes a big difference. Now when you do this, as we were to look at the wave, let's just look at the profile here really quick. See how it shortened everything up? It just kind of pushes everything to the left. And when we do it on the other one here, when we increased it, it pushes everything to the right. A little more, so we're going to get a larger amount. So let's do the amplify, and we're going to shrink this down to 2%. So this one was at 50, this one was at 2. This is at 50% pitch. This is at 200%, and we're leaving the one in the middle alone. Now we're going to bring up the surround sound tool. All right, you can get that off of tools and then surround sound editor. All right, and basically I've set up my surround sound this way, and then clicked it off. The files you'll get for 3 that you're working with, it's going to bring up 6. All right, and then you can mess with it however you want to do it, but this is what I've got basically. So you can do a little screen capture and see. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm going to uncheck these first ones. Oh, great. All right. Let's go. Yeah, what a pain. I was hoping it was going to keep the same profile. There's no way to do that. Alright, so I'll just do it this way. There we go. roughly this, and then you just click apply. Now I've got this at 70 and this is 100. If it doesn't need to be, that just seemed to work for me. Now let's try it. So this is kind of to see what it sounds like after it gets on up to YouTube. It always sounds different than when I did it on my laptop local machine here. So anyway, give it a shot. I'll keep messing with this and keep trying to clear it up. Try it with one of your recordings. And this is what I wanted to show. Thanks for listening.